Soul Punk, your solo album, coming out October 18th.
Yes.
Gotta be very excited for that.
Yeah, excited.
And it's a solo album in the truest sense. You, like, correct me if I'm wrong, recorded all the instruments, wrote all the songs, and there's no features on the album either. It's only you.
Yeah, there's a single out that's a remix with of a song called This City with Lupe Fiasco, but the album version is just me. Yeah, so I played everything. There's nobody.
I found that kind of interesting that you're not putting the remix on the album. Did you think about making the exception, or?
Well, I mean, I'm sure there'll be, it'll be like bonus, whatever. It's not like I don't want to work with people, but I really wanted to make sure people knew that this was something I wanted to do, and it wasn't something that, I wanted my band to know that it wasn't like me just that it wasn't an ego thing. I just wanted to make this music outside that doesn't really fit in the band. So.
Right, because even, I mean, the story that I heard about the remix with Lupe, the label came to you on that and said, hey, we want to get a remix. And you're like, all right, if we're going to do it, it's got to be Lupe.
Yes, absolutely, which is this is how you know you have a good label and good people that you work with. Eric Wong, who's in the building tonight, is a friend of mine, and he works at the label, and he had suggested, he gave me his list, and he was like, so give me your list or whatever, and the top of both of our lists was Lupe. I was like, all right,
that's
all
dope.
right, and really my list was Lupe, pretty much.
Well, I was gonna ask you about that too. I know you wanted Lupe; he was your first choice. That list was all Chicago rappers, though. No, or was there anyone?
No, it really wasn't about that. I thought it was really, there's really not a lot of people that have an authoritative intelligence, but also, kind of fun to them, Because that's the thing, is that, like, there are a lot of rappers who are really smart and really, intellectual, which Lupe obviously fills that bill, but he also can, knows his way around a pop song, and I thought that was important. And he has this gift for being intelligent and thought-provoking in a pop song. When you look at The Show Goes On, some of the stuff he's talking about, some of the ideas are really new to pop music. I haven't heard anyone else say a lot of those things out loud. And not only is he saying them, but he's saying them in a single. He was asking me how far I wanted him to go with it, and I was like, as far as you want, man. Let's go for it.
That's cool. We're talking with Patrick Stump here on the Ralphie Radio Show. I guess one of the nice things about coming from a band that was successful as Fall Out Boy is that you probably didn't have to deal with as much of the politics as Lupe did because of the success from before. From what I've read, again, it's almost like you kind of got to fly under the radar, do your own thing, and there was no one looking over your shoulder.
But yes, but the truth is that if I were nobody, there'd be even less people looking over my shoulder. You know what I mean? If I'd never been anybody, because the thing is, I probably just wouldn't be signed to a major label, which is the trade-off, is that my record probably has more of an opportunity to be listened to. More people will probably listen to it, and I got to spend more money on my record, knowing that if the label liked it, they would probably pay me back for it. But at the same time, I feel like there's a certain anonymity that I miss. Fall Out Boy has a lot of fans. They're still really dedicated.
Of course.
And this very clearly isn't Fall Out Boy, what I'm doing, and I don't want it to be an affront to them that I'm doing this, So that's been kind of the hardest thing, is getting people comfortable with the idea that I'm just doing this thing on the side, and if this thing takes off, then it's still I still consider it something parallel to Fall Out Boy. If it doesn't take off, I still want to do it. I still, it's not about that.
And you've said that in interviews before, but I feel like you need to continue to say that, because people still, as many times as you say it, they don't fully comprehend.
Yeah,
it.
I think, honestly, there's a lot of put your money where your mouth is, because it's like, we can talk about it all we want, but until Fall Out Boy puts out another record, that's all talk. Until we see what my record does, that's all talk. Right. So I'm stating my intentions, at least.
Right. Well, yeah, no, you're saying it absolutely. I spoke last fall with Pete Wentz about his project, and he expressed a great amount of anxiety to me over having to start this whole new project and the planning and so on and so forth. And again, going back to your situation and your solo album, you've kind of loved the fact that you've been able to just kind of fly under the radar and haven't had to worry about pretty much anything other than yourself.
Pete has always been in a much tougher situation, and I think there's a big misconception about Pete that he took the limelight or something, and that he went for that or something. As long as I've known him, he's one of these people that walks in a room, he might hello, whatever, he's very whatever, and immediately people just look at him and people give him this attention, and there's really he has no choice in that matter. So then he reacts to it in any number of ways, just as anyone else would. And so I think he was under the microscope way before, I'm a tiny bit, you know, but not anywhere near like what he has to deal with. So I think it's a lot harder for him to make, you know, the Black Cards record, because from the get-go, not only are expectations wildly out of control, you know, but also, you know, people's perspectives on his intentions and things like that are wildly out of whack and everything. So it's like, I think I got lucky there.
So we're about 2 months away from the album's release. Has any of that anxiety now crept in? Because we're getting closer. You're on tour now. You're doing all this press.
The most anxious thing the most anxious feeling I have is just, I hope my record comes out. You know, that's really
You still worry about that, really?
Oh yeah. That's all I worry about. That's the only thing that matters to me, because if I sell no copies, I don't care. You know, like that's not a thing. Like, I have no expectations beyond the, you know, the immediate. I just wanted to have a record that I made by my, you know, like I was thinking about, like, you know, they say you regret things. It's not the things that you did that you regret. It's the things you didn't do. And I don't know. I guess I was thinking, when I was doing this record, I was thinking a bit about mortality before I started it, and I was like, yeah, you know, someday I'll either be dead or I'll be someone's grandpa, and it'll be nice to have something that, you know, when I was younger, I did this thing, you know.
Right.
So.
A lot of people are talking about the fact that you look great.
Oh, thanks.
Obviously,
man.
you've lost a good amount of weight. Has that changed how you sing at all? Your transformation, or no?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it has. I have a lot more energy. You know, I get to. One of the other things too is that this show. You know, I have a live band that, you know, I can focus a lot more on just enjoying it and running around and whatever. So I think my performance is very different than Fall Out Boy, because I get to I fret to call it dancing, because I don't think I'm all that great a dancer, but I
don't want to put yourself in that lane.
Yeah, but I do sort of get to dance.